Hello everyone, I'm Brad Klippert, your 8th District State Representative. Thank you for joining me on Legislative Update. I want to begin today by thanking all of you who came to our 8th District Town Hall meetings the past 2 weekends. I was joined at the meetings by my seatmates, Senator Jerome Delvin and Representative Larry Haler. We had great crowds who asked great questions. Many people voiced their concerns about the economy, jobs, and also the effects of climate change legislation. With unemployment in Washington reaching its highest level in 25 years, we ought to be doing everything possible in the legislature to provide for economic growth and jobs. That's why here in the House, we successfully stopped some legislation that would have killed jobs, created higher energy costs, and would have imposed new taxes, all in the name of climate change. Please know that I'm all for a clean and healthy environment, and that's one of the reasons why I'm proud to live in Washington State. We have one of the cleanest environments in the nation. In total, Washington produces less than 0.3% of the world's greenhouse gases. That's like a pebble of sand on an entire beach. Let's be straight here. The climate change legislation is not just about a cleaner environment, it represents more government control. It appears the Senate has sent a climate change bill to the House, which may be gaining support. Senate Bill 5735 is known as Cap and Trade. The idea is to make business and their consumers reduce greenhouse gas emissions and pay for the bill's proposed consequences. This amounts to a huge government program financed by the businesses and citizens of this state who are already stretched extremely thin trying to make daily expenses meet. To gain support for this bill, the governor came to testify this week before the House Ecology and Parks Committee. Folks, this is a really bad bill. It will kill more jobs and it will cost you more money. What you will get is much more government intrusion in our lives. So I will be fighting on your behalf against this legislation. I ask you to join me to fight toward common sense government. We need to be good stewards of the earth, but we don't need more government mandates. We have about 5 weeks remaining of the scheduled 105-day session. Much of our remaining time will be spent working to balance an enormous state budget deficit. This week, the Washington Economic and Revenue Forecast Council gave its revenue forecast report. The news is not good. Our state is expected to take in even less revenue than previously predicted. It now puts our state budget deficit at an all-time record of close to $9 billion deficit. I say we can and should balance the budget without raising taxes. Tax increases would send our state further into a recession and create additional hardship to those 305,000 Washingtonians who do not have jobs now. This past week, the House Ways and Means Committee held a work session on several of our House Republican budget bills. Here are some of the ideas we have to prevent the state from getting into this budget mess in the future. First, let's make sure every bill has a fiscal note before it is passed, so we know how much we are spending. If you were on a tight budget, you wouldn't go into a grocery store and just start throwing items into a shopping cart. You'd look at the price first. We need to do that with every bill that is to become law. Secondly, give the operating, capital, and transportation budgets at least 5 days after they are released before lawmakers vote on them. Far too often, we lawmakers are forced to vote on the budget bills while they are still warm from the copy machine. There's no time to read the bills. That's no way to make a responsible and informed decision. We also need to fund education first. Washington's Constitution says education is the paramount duty of the state. Let's make sure we live up to that. Let's also write into law that the legislature must be required to adopt a balanced budget to prevent deficit spending. Let's adopt a spending limit and adhere to it. A 33% increase in spending is what got Washington into trouble in the first place. These are good ideas to ensure accountability in our budget and protection for our taxpayers. As always, I'm interested in hearing from you. Please call or email my office You'll find the contact information on your screen. Thanks again for joining me on Legislative Update. I'm your state representative, Brad Klippert. God bless you, and have a great Washington day.